Hello everybody, my name is Alan from Sauber-Lab and today will be another video about NAS. Okay, in the previous video I explained what's the difference to use 1GB network card, 2.5 and 10GB and which one that is better for you, and explain what setup that you need to have and what you need to consider for it. But let's say now that you don't want to use any switch or any holder in the middle way between your NAS and your computer. Let's say that you only want to use one cable that connects your NAS and your computer, and in this video we're gonna see what's the gain, if it's worth to do it, and if it make any difference for your setup. So if you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna show in this video. But first of all, don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed, and let's understand a little bit more about it. As I told, in this video we're gonna try to understand if it's worth for you to connect your NAS directly to your computer, if make any difference, and if it's gonna have a maximum speed possible compared for you have a switch and a router in the middle of the system. And here you're gonna ask, you think that's ideal for transfer large files at maximum speeds? It's a question. Let's try to understand a little bit more about it. First, we need to understand what we need to have in order to do this trial. So in this video, we're gonna focus to understand connect your NAS directly to your computer using only a cable, no switch, no router need, and we're gonna test the speeds. And then after, see if I have any difference compare for use a switch. I will not show exactly how much transfer, but I will get the data that I got from these trials. So first thing, what we need to have in order to make sense and make work this project. You need to have a NAS. This NAS needs to have a network port, and this port can be 1GB, 2.5 and 10GB, because we're gonna compare similar speeds comparison for the other system that we have. Also, your computer need to have internet connection that match with the network card from your NAS. So if your NAS have a 2.5GB network card, you need to make sure that your computer have the same kind of network card, otherwise they will not connect fast, because the bottleneck will be or your computer or your NAS. The same thing for 10GB. Also, you need to have a network cable, ideal Cat6 or better. If you go for lower grade, you're not gonna have any gain, because Cat5e you can get, let's say, 1GB, but 2.5 or 10 they will not be able to have these speeds because all the waste and everything. I don't say that you need to go for Cat8 only to this trial, because it will not make so much difference for the price, but if you for a short distance or short cable, will not cost so much more, but will not make so much difference. Also, you need to understand basic knowledge of network or to set up a static IP. Don't worry, I'll explain how you can set up this static IP in the next step. So, what we need to do? We need to connect one side our NAS, other side our PC, and that we're gonna do a directly connection, physical connection, and that we need to start the setup. The setup that we need to do will be this way. Let me zoom a little bit out, and that you need to set up first your computer and define a static IP address. What it means? Normally the router will give you IP address depend of your sub network or subnet that is defined. Let's say your router have the IP address 192.168.1.1, so all the rest of the network or subnet will be related for this specific IP address. So in this way they will define dynamic IPs or static IPs, and that your computer, your NAS, will have these IPs as defined. But because we are connected directly one to another, I don't have this static IP, so you need to configure it. So to configure it, you need to go for a computer, go in settings, go for a network card, and set up a IP address. In this case I put 100.1, you could go here and put 100, you put 2, 3, 4 and whatever you want. Let's put as a 1 now, and then your submask needed to be this one, 255.0. Gateway, you don't need to have any gateway because you don't have a router. Normally, the gateway will be the same IP of your router, but because you are not connected and you're not connected necessarily for the internet, you don't need to do this configuration. And in the same time, you need to set up a static IP address for your NAS. So in this case, it will be 192, and I needed to put exactly the same. So if I put 0.1, here needed to be 0.1. If I put 0.2, here needed to be 0.2. Remember, the last digit cannot be exactly the same, because if this one is 1 and this one is 1, they will not connect because they will conflict between themselves. Also, the mask will be exactly the same, and your gateway you can leave blanked. If you wanted to set up your gateway as your computer, you can put the same IP address for your computer, and here you need to leave blank because they are only communicate for each other. You shouldn't put one for another and make this mix because they could not work the way that you expect. Once that you set up this and make sure that both it's your subnet, then we can start to do the trials. And this trial was a little bit surprised because I was expecting a little bit more for the data. So what I did, I transferred a 10 GB file with different network connections. The first one I get a 1 GB, the second is 2.5, and the third 10 GB, and I got speed ups to 110 megabytes. I was expecting really to get my maximum. So if I get 1000 megabits per second, I was expecting to have at least 125 megabytes per second, but was not this. Why was not this? Because either with a switch or without switch, you still have lost, you still have other things that work, unless you get a really professional network card, really professional cable, really professional everything to try to get a little bit more, they will not be able to handle it. If I compare for the previous video, was basically the same. Was not any gain, no difference, no battery speeds, no fast transfers, was exactly the same. And then I will ask you, why I want to do it? Why in this situation that I want to do it? In my mind, I will get maximum speeds, I will get a little bit of gain, but no, I didn't get it. It's ideal for large backups, video editing, but if you connect directly for a computer, your NAS become without internet, or your computer become without internet. Unless you have two network cards, then one of those will be connected to your router and the second one will be connected for a NAS, and that you can create a bridge between both network cards. But then you need to have your NAS or your computer always on to be able to access the internet using the other device, what is not ideal, and take out all the function for the NAS. The main idea for the NAS is network attach. You want to be able to access this for network, you want to be able to basically search it in your house, outside your house, and have access for everywhere. Once that you do this setup, basically you lose the ability for have this flexibility. So in this way, it would be better for you to buy external hard drive or external SSD card and make this connection, run it, because in the end you're not gonna gain anything or not have so much difference. Unless you have only Wi-Fi connection in your house, let's say that you have a router far away, your computer in another place, you cannot connect for the same network your NAS, your computer, then in this case will make a little bit of sense, but you're still losing all the access for the internet, all the flexibility for this NAS. So in the end, I'll ask for you, you think that's worth for it? No, I don't think that's worth. Unless you have a specific function that will make sense, you're not going to improve your speed, you're not going to improve anything, only you're going to lose. You're going to lose the flexibility to have a network attached, only one computer will be connected. You lose the flexibility to have external access, you're going to lose a lot of flexibilities that the NAS make it ideal, and instead you're going to basically buy a really expensive external hard drive or a really expensive big external hard drive, what you can get other options without CPU, without so much power, and that will make the same function for you. So in this way we arrive at the end of this video. I hope that you guys like this video. If you like this video and think that was interesting, please don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribe for the channel if you're not subscribed, and see you next time.